Welcome back to the Infinite Magic Cast. This is Larry Wynn, and I'm sitting here with Joe Carroll. We are
Hello.
going into round 5 of the TCG 5K States event, brought to you by Griffin Events. This round, we have a great matchup for you here. We have John being piloted by Dan Shaffer, and we have uh,
Turbo Fog.
Turbo Fog by Maurice. Really excited to see this matchup. We were excited to see Turbo Fog on camera, and
Yeah.
then we found out it was going against John with Dan piloting it. And now that I'm thinking about it, I really feel Dan might have the edge here because he has the Rakdos Return and the Siren of Insanity, which is insane against
Can be
Fog, who just
really
wants to
good.
sit there.
Yeah, the Fog deck wants to load their hand up and just keep drawing all the cards and gaining all the life, and that's something Sire of Insanity definitely puts an end to. Is he running any in the main deck, Sire of Insanity?
Looking at his list, yes, he's running 2 in the main.
Okay, and Rakdos Return?
And he's running 1 Rakdos Return. So it's only 3, but, I mean, it's definitely worth it. So Maurice is laying his second land drop for the turn. Go ahead and place Farseek. Now let's just go ahead and take a look at Maurice's list here. He's running 4 Supreme Verdicts. He's got 1 Syncopate, 2 Azorius Charms, 4 Fog, 1 Dissipate, 2 Tamios. He's got the 4 Farseeks and the 2 Urbans to ramp up fast. He's got 3 Clinging Mist to add with the 4 Fog, 2 Snapcaster Mages to get additional Fogs.
More Fog.
He's got 1 Jace Architect, 4 Sphinx's Revelation, 1 Terminus, 2 Jace Memory Depths, and 1 Selesnya Charm. Looking at his mana base, he's got 1 Alchemist Refuge and 2 Nephelia Drownyards. So his way of killing people is mill. He's playing on Nephelia Drownyards and Jacing.
That's about it.
There's no creatures that are playing on attack. He's not playing on killing with Snapcast.
There's no Boro Moral Ghost, whatever the dude's name is. There's no I cast Omniscience, no cast everything for free.
Yep. So we get a Jace on turn 3 here. Flips over a Farseek, Syncopate, and a Hallowed Fountain. Dan's gonna split these up. My guess is he's gonna put the Farseek with the land here and put Syncopate by itself.
Yeah.
Maurice definitely needs the Syncopate for any big huge bomb that Dan has.
A little redundant if you put the Farseek with the land there, and that's probably the right way to do it. And
Exactly.
Yep, that's what he's gonna do.
So Dan's list seems to be very built for the aggro matchup. His removal suite is 2 Mizium Motors, 1 Abrupt Decay, and 2 Putrefy, 1 Dreadbore, 3 Bonfire of the Damned, 2 Tragic Slips. That is a lot for the aggro matchup.
Yep. And speaking of aggro, it's nice not seeing Mountain Dude go.
Yeah.
For
but
first
we've
time
been
today.
seeing a lot of red-green aggro today. I just updated the Infinite Cast. You're probably seeing it much later. That's fine. But Jun is 9 decks out of the top 27 tables, and then it was Rights with 7, and then it was Esper Control with 6.
Okay, and you're just talking strictly top tables.
Top 27 tables.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot more Burning Tree emissaries out there than what we're just seeing.
Looks
here.
like Maurice drew a Fog. It's going to be a while before that Fog is actually even relevant. Now, what Dan really needs to do here is he needs to get pressure on the board in the form of Huntmaster or Thragtusk. If he can get a Siren Insanity, that is his number 1 choice, but he needs to get his threat down in order to start putting pressure on Maurice.
Yeah, Maurice is doing exactly what he wants here. He's way ahead on lands. He just drew 3 extra cards, and he's going to be able to play an extra land this turn. Except I don't know if he drew one. That's kind of awkward. Yeah, he's going to have to go to discard. And yep, the Clinging is going to go to the graveyard.
Yep, not nearly as relevant as he wants it to be in this matchup.
Nope.
Now, Fog is something I've been considering for a while now, because I just think it's really good with the Planeswalkers, but with Siren Insanity and Rakdos Return in the format, it's very hard to consider this as a viable deck. But Maurice is XO1 right now, so he is rocking it out.
Yeah, they do tend to feed on the aggro decks, and the Jun midrange is definitely probably one of their hardest matchups.
Absolutely.
And now we see an Olivia that can be problematic, but I'm sure he's, with the full grip, he'll be able to take care of a single creature if it becomes a problem for him. Right now it's just a 3/3. So, and we know he has a ton of fogs too. So
As you notice, there is no life totals on the screen at this point. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties with that. I'll be announcing life totals as it happens, so I apologize if the life totals happen to be off. But we are still sitting at 2020.
yep, no, 18 for Maurice. He played a Shockland so he could.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So he could cast the Urban Evolution.
Mm-hmm. Right, Dan's going to serve in for 3 damage.
Yep.
Maurice is going to take it. It's going to drop him down to 15. Now, one interesting card that I see in Dan's list that I really like, it does cost a lot of mana, but it might become relevant in this matchup, is he's playing 1 main Gaze of Granite. And what that is it's a black-green X that destroys each non-land permanent with converted mana cost X or less that's in play. So that includes planeswalkers in this case.
And tokens.
And tokens.
Yep.
So now that's a lot of mana to try killing a Tameo or kill a Jace. But Dan's going to have the time to get the mana to go.
He's going to have a lot of time here. And we saw last turn he tried to slam down a Garrick, and that got dissipated right away. This time he's going to put Thragtusk going to play. But Maurice is going to answer back with a fairly big Sphinx Revelation. It looks like for 5.
Yep,
So.
draw 5, game 5. So I have Dan at 25 life and Maurice at 20.
Yeah, it's always pretty miserable being on the other side of the table when they play a tap all my lands at the end step.
Mm-hmm.
Sphinx Revelation.
Sphinx Revelation is pretty good. I watched Maurice play a little bit earlier today. At the end of one of his matches, he literally had just a few cards left in his library.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
We're going to cast a Farseek.
What he needs to do is draw into one of his win conditions.
Yeah, because with the amount of fogs in Maurice's hands, if he slammed a Jace Memory Depth, it's almost game over as long as Dan doesn't have a Dreadbore.
Right, which we see he already used one of them. So for win conditions, we do still have the 2 Drown Yard. One of the Jaces is gone, but there are 3 more. 2 big Jace and 1 more little Jace.
Mm-hmm. So Dan's going to serve in for 8 here, and Maurice is going to choose to fog.
There's also Tameo. See that on the list too.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if he has any way to reshuffle, yeah, he's got his Aureus Charm, but no creature. No, he can Snapcaster. Yeah, he can infinite Snapcaster.
Well, you can also infinite Selesnya Charm. Make as many tokens as he wants.
Right.
So that is definitely a possible win condition.
Yeah, and you get to do that all at the end step too, which is nice. So you get around Bonfire. So Jun's doing what Jun does. Put the big creatures into play. The Terminus is going to come down from Maurice. Yeah, not much Dan can do other than just, get a 3/3 here.
Yep, just let it happen, get a 3/3.
I'm guessing he put Olivia on top. Not that it... Well, it might be. He plays Farseek. And then I guess that wouldn't matter anyway.
Even have one of Nolan's brand new tokens that just got printed last night.
Yep. Last minute tokens.
All right. Dan's going to serve in for 3 damage, and Maurice is going to take this. It's going to drop him to 17.
Yeah, we'll see another drag. And
the nice thing about this with the life totals is Dan's life really doesn't matter.
It's fairly relevant. Yeah, 2 Thragtusks will should put him up to 30 there. I don't think he's shocked yet.
Maurice is going to take 2 damage. He goes down to 15 for that shock land. He's just going to pass it right on back. I think Maurice might have another Sphinx's
Yeah,
Revelation.
that's definitely a telegraph.
All right, I do have an update on life totals. I was mistaken at one point. We have 28 for Dan, and we have 12 for Maurice.
And he's just gonna put the fog down.
Mhm.
And we're gonna have a Hunt Master here.
This is going to put a lot of pressure on Maurice just because flipping back and forth is going to cause some damage.
Yep. Not casting spells and just saying, nice fogs.
Mhm.
That definitely can end the game for him. Yep, but he's gonna gain 2 off that Hunt Master, puts him up to 30. End step Snapcaster, Sphinx Revelation.
Quite a play here. So we got
It's gonna be for 6.
for
Yep.
6. Absolutely.
Yep.
So we go back up to 18. Now this type of deck that Maurice is playing, you are literally playing a 75 card deck. Whereas a deck like John, you only play with the top 20, 25 cards of your deck. Where Maurice literally plays 75 cards. Excuse me, 60 cards.
Yeah.
But like his sideboard cards really do matter in every match.
Yeah, I think you gotta main phase something here.
Yep, he is going to pass.
I don't know if I agree with that. And Dan misses the flip trigger. And
Looks like he revealed Bonfire. And yes, he is going to Bonfire for 4.
yeah, not knowing what's in his hand, that's still probably the right play. Always Bonfire as much as you can against the fog deck because, chances are he might just have a few fogs in his hand right now.
All right, Dan's going to serve in for all the damage. We're going to see a flashed in because of Alchemist Refuge. Flashed in Supreme Verdict.
Now it'd be interesting to see if that 2 life from the Huntmaster flip is relevant.
Absolutely. All right, Maurice lays land, says go.
It's easy to miss triggers like that though.
Oh yeah, very much.
Very easy.
Serves in for 3.
It probably doesn't help being under camera either. So
Maurice is going to Azorius Charm it into Oblivion. Dan passes back. Dan has no more threats in hand.
Yeah, he's not drawing any lands. It's good to have a lot of gas against decks like this, but you do want to eventually get your Kessig Wolf run out and be able to Fireball.
So we have a Sphinx's Revelation for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's going to put
a little out of range
Maurice
now.
at a 27 and drawing 9 cards.
This is definitely Dirtle heaven here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Dan's got to know that he's not getting in for damage anytime soon.
You're getting all the life and drawing all the cards. It's just, yeah.
Dan wants to get his Rakdos returns with higher mana.
Right.
Hoping that he doesn't have a Dissipate.
Yeah, I don't think Dan's casted a Farseek this game either.
No. All right, and here comes Maurice's Wing Edition.
Yeah, he's got a few cards in hand, so I imagine he'll just go for the mill here.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, draw 1. Nah, I'm good.
Discard a few lands here.
Yep. Keeping Tameo in hand.
Yeah, I think he's got 2 Tameo.
Get rid of all my extra lands.
Too many cards in hand. That's a good problem to have, right? Bonfire off the top.
So we're going to Bonfire for 4. Hit the Jace.
See, yeah.
Snapcaster in response, most likely to counter.
Dissipate, or if he's got a Syncopate in there, he could use that.
Yep. Nope. Go ahead and use the Dissipate. And that should pretty much seal the deal for the Jund player here, Dan. Going to Drown Yard for 3 more cards.
Yeah. At some point, you really do want to maybe concede just so they don't get to... Because, at any point, Maurice could say, let me see your graveyard, and he could just see the entire list right here. But
right.
Yeah, I don't know if he's too worried about it. I don't know what his outs are.
So we're gonna play Tamiyo to make sure that Dan really can't play anything.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, Judd has some good weapons, but you need to draw them, and you do need to hit your land drops.
Absolutely.
Because, yeah, Rakdos return you for 3 really doesn't seem all that impressive when they just Sphinx Revelation for 9. So look, sideboards here. What we got?
Let me take a look at Dan's Jund list. His list includes 2 Appetite for the Brains, 1 Gaze of Granite, 1 Rakdos Return, 2 Vampire Nighthawk, 1 Duress, 2 Slaughter Games, 1 Ground Seal, and 2 Liliana the Veil, 1 Rolling Tumbler, and 2 Pillar of Flame. The cards that I really like in this matchup is definitely the 2 Liliana the Veils to bring that in, get the hand size down a little bit. The 2 Slaughter Games to rip the Jaces out of the deck, and just even getting the Sphinx's Revelation would be helpful in this case. Bring in the Duress, he'll bring in the Appetite for the Brains, he'll bring in the Rakdos Return, he'll probably bring in the Grace of Granite. Because there's so many cards he has to bring out.
Is there anything left in the sideboard there? I mean, if he's bringing all that in.
He's bringing almost the entire sideboard in because he doesn't want Mizium Motors. Abrupt Decay is okay, but it's not anything special. Putrefies aren't good. The Dreadbore's fine, but the Bonfires really aren't that good. Tragic Slip's terrible. So there's so many cards that is not good for Dan. Oh. Now let's take a look at our Turbo Fog. Maurice is calling it Nephelia Fog.
Yeah, he's got a Selesnya Charm, a Tree of Redemption, 2 Dissipate, 1 Dispel, 2 Ground Seal, 1 Purify the Grave, 1 Gideon, so another Planeswalker, 2 Witchbane Orb, 1 Detention Sphere, and 3 Thragtusk. So no doubt we'll see the 2 Witchbane Orb come in. Don't think he'll be bringing in any Ground Seals or any Graveyard Hate against the Jund player.
I definitely see the 2 Dissipates coming in.
Yes.
Jund is a slower deck with bigger bomby cards. And
you want to stop their Garrix and
you want to stop their Garrix. You want to stop their
Speaking of which, returns. Detention Sphere probably comes in too. Other than that, yeah, he's pretty well set in his main board.
Yeah, I'm really looking at the Jund list, and I can easily see Ground Seal coming in just to get rid of these bad cards.
Yep.
I'm
pretty sure. Yeah, he's already got 2 in the main, so he might bring in another one just to make sure Snapcaster doesn't get ridiculous.
We want to take this moment to let you know that we do have a Facebook page. It is facebook.com/InfiniteCast. Please go ahead and like our page, and we will give you plenty of updates, plenty of news about what events are coming up, what events we'll be doing, and more local events in your neighborhood. Also, we are on YouTube with our channel being Infinite Cast.
So with Dan on the play this game, what do you think best case scenario is? Turn 2 Liliana with Rakdos Return in hand.
Turn 2 Liliana.
And a Farseek. Yeah. Arbor Elf.
There's no Arbor Elf.
Oh, he's not playing Arbor Elf.
No, there's no Arbor Elf.
Okay.
No, I think Dan's best starting hand is turn 2 Farseek.
Okay.
Turn 2 Farseek, get the mana going. Let's start playing a Liliana or try to get onto Garrett.
Yeah, I just assumed all Jund decks have Arbor Elves in them.
Not all of them do. No, I definitely think both players want to be playing Farseek on turn 2.
Yep.
That hands down. They want to get up on mana.
So he who has the most lands wins, kind of in this matchup.
In a way, but Dan doesn't want to play a draw go matchup for sure. No. Dan needs to once again. He needs to play a threat early, start being in with it.
Yeah, and make Maurice answer whatever it is you're doing.
Exactly. Make Maurice use his fogs and things like that, and then start ripping his hand apart with Duress, Rakdos Return, Sire of Insanity.
Yeah, that Sire could be Could be pretty game winning for him there.
Okay. So Maurice is looking at his opening hand. He only has 2 lands in his hand. Not looking good for him. He's going to go ahead and ship that back.
Yeah, I think he understands the key to this matchup and getting ahead on lands. Looks like Dan's going to be keeping.
Yeah, Maurice, all he wants to do is survive another turn. That's his goal for every single hand. Survive another turn.
Yep.
Survive another turn.
Draw as many cards as I can.
Every turn that goes by, I'm closer to win.
All right, so we'll see a 6-card hand here. Hopefully a good one, so we can keep up with Dan's start. I'm assuming Dan's gonna have something to do earlier on. See a Farseek, 1 land, and it comes into play tapped.
It's not looking good.
I think that's got to be a mulligan.
Absolutely. Gotta do the 1-card peek.
I never look.
I'd never look either.
I never look. Should probably take a moment and give a shout out to 2 of our community members that aren't here because they're on the Pro Tour right now. Josh Clansman and Nick Edgerly. Last I heard, they were both actually doing pretty well.
Mhm.
They both had, I think, an 0-2 start, but now they both made day 2.
Yep.
So
what I looked at round 3 yesterday, they were both 1 and 2.
okay,
And then at the end of day 1, Edgerly was 5 and 3, and
Nice.
Glansman was 4 and 4.
okay.
Both are good enough to make day 2 of the tournament.
Yeah, they must be having a great time. I mean, being around that many players at that level is it's an experience, and getting to travel, and I did see them post some pictures. It looked like they're having a pretty good time out there. So
Not to mention the community support that just surrounded them
yeah,
was insane.
yep.
I've never seen so many people play test for a tournament that wasn't even theirs.
Not only that, knowing that they have access to any card they need, no
Mhm.
matter what, it's pretty cool.
So Maurice is going to keep his 5-card hand here, and Dan's going to lead up with Stomping Ground into his turn 2 Farseek. The exact play. And Maurice shook his head. He knew exactly this is not where he wants to be sitting.
So Dan, took a quick peek at the hand, make sure he gets the right land out of this. I think he must have another black source in his hand because he got a green-red land there. And he's going to ship the turn. Maurice's hand, not looking so stellar. He's got some of his late game things. I believe I saw a Tameo there. He does have a Supreme Verdict to get him out of trouble. But I'm not seeing any ramp. No Farseek, no Evolution. So, yeah, he needs to definitely rip into something. But being on the Multi 5 it's not the worst, but it definitely hinders your, you're sculpting your hand and what you can do. So Dan just passes on 4 lands there.
Yeah, that's the tough part. Is Dan's probably threatened. His hand is probably Thragtusk at this point. And he really needs to get things rolling right now.
Okay, so we'll see. Yep, there we go.
So we have Thragtusk, and that's going to put Dan up to 25.
Alright, we're going to see tap land, ship back. Kestig Wolfron, that is a very good card.
That's definitely a good card for Dan, because Dan can just put the pressure on now every single turn with us, and then Maurice has to answer it.
Right.
So Maurice is going to take 5. He's going to go down to 15.
Interestingly enough, if Dan doesn't play another creature here,
So Dan's going to play Ground Seal.
Maurice will be able to Tameo and just tap down the Thragtusk. Don't know if he's thinking about exiling at the end step there. Because he does have Selesnya Charm in hand.
Mm.
But no, I think the right play is just to play Tameo and tap down Thragtusk. Now, if you're Dan, why don't you Keswick for one more? If all you're gonna do is Ground Seal. See, he had the Keswick and he had 3 more lands.
It could be a bluff in this case. It also could be the fact that Dan may have another creature in hand that he would want to play if there was an Azorius Charm or something of that sort.
I suppose.
But
yeah, not wanting to overextend.
It is only 1 point of damage. It wouldn't quicken the clock at all.
Right.
So, not necessarily a need at that point.
Second Kessig.
Yep.
Looks like he's going to go for it here. So, Maurice decides not to play the Tameo. And, okay, we're not getting a Kessig. We're getting a second Thragtusk.
Yep, getting a second Thragtusk. So now Maurice is at 10. And Dan is at 30. We're going to see a Sphinx's Revelation for 2. Not shameful, not embarrassing. Definitely a smart play. A lot of people think that Sphinx's Revelation needs to be 3 or more cards, but that's not true at all. Alright, so Maurice is taking his turn. I don't think I see a fog in his hand. He's got another Sphinx's Revelation. He's got the Supreme Verdict, a Selesnya Charm. He's just going to go ahead and pass it back.
Yeah, still not going to play Tameo. If he was going to do it, he should have done it last turn. Then he'd be able to tap down the Thrag, and then this turn, when the second Thrag attacks, he could Selesnya Charm in response to a Kessig, or just, even if he doesn't do it. So, yeah. See, now he's going to end up taking 5 anyway. And he could be taking none.
Well, if Dan dumped his mana in here, he would only had 9. If he would have played the Cavern pre-combat, he would have had the 5, the extra 5.
Yeah, we're gonna see Sire.
Siren's Standing and Scoop.
It's gonna be the game. Yeah, so it end up might not have mattered anyway. The neglecting to play the Tameo.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Maurice was thinking there. Like, playing the Tameo, you definitely put it into risk for bonfires, but
what else are you doing? I mean, he wasn't doing anything.
I'd like to think that Dan would sideboard his bonfires out, so that's not really that much of a worry.
Right. And not only that, I mean, if you were gonna Selesnya Charm, but he didn't do it, so. And Thragtusk isn't the best target for a Selesnya Charm, just because they still end up getting the 3/3. With a Kessig in play, that's still pretty deadly. So I'm not seeing either of them go for their sideboards. I think, then Maurice is gonna prove me wrong. Gonna make a 1-card switch. So game 3, Maurice being on the play, can hopefully draw into some ramp. Definitely won him game 1. It's key to victory there. And Sire of Insanity.
Insane.
If you have the Selesnya Charm, I feel like that's what you got to be holding it for. Before they go to their end step, let's exile that guy. Otherwise, there's not much you can do about that. I mean, you ripped the Supreme Verdict, but you still already had to discard the rest of your cards, so it can be pretty devastating. The only experience I've had with Sire, I played the black, red, white deck, And when you're able to get him into play and dump the hand, and you have an unburial rights, it's pretty deadly because even if they do kill him, you just bring him right back. Also, another fun deck which we might be able to get on camera today because several people are playing red, white, black today. I feel like you can play any deck right now, literally any deck you want.
And that's the thing. Like I was saying, when I did a quick sketch of the top 27 tables, I do have like the Jund, the green right aggro, the Esper, the Junk rights, all the decks you expect to see up there. But there are so many ones, one, 4-color control, peddler, mono green aggro, black, white, red rights, band control. Like
Right.
there's so much random decks out there. It's hard to plan for everything.
Yep. We got both players going to keep their hands. Maurice does have the Farseek for turn 2. I couldn't see Dan's hand. But he also has a Sphinx Revelation in hand, so this is exactly what he wants to be doing.
So we get a turn 2 Farseek from Maurice. Very huge.
He didn't get a black source.
I don't think the black source is really that needed until you're actually trying to win.
Right. So Dan's gonna hope to counter back with a Farseek of his own. Keep up with the tempo here. And kind of cool that we've had all of our matches go to game 3 today. So
It is very nice.
Yep.
Dan Shaffer's going to start his turn 2 off with playing a Blood Crypt and Farseeking as well.
Yep. So that'll take 2.
So this is going to put Dan at 18 and Maurice at 20.
I think Dan has a Sire in his hand. I'm not sure. I think I saw one. So see if we can sneak another peek.
Sire Insanity is game plan A.
Yeah.
Game plan B is the rest of the deck.
So Maurice gonna hit the tank here and come up with a game plan. It might just be, land Farseek go.
Dan's not doing anything, so there's not really anything that Maurice needs to really worry about at this point.
And for 4, you're not. I mean, Huntmaster is okay. You're not losing to that. If it were a little later and he's going to be able to play a Sire or a Thragtusk, you might want to hold up counter mana.
Dan's going to play Ground Seal and draw a card. And
Very,
then use
very
his other
old
mana
school
Farseek.
Ground Seal. What edition is that?
I think it's Odyssey.
Okay. That was the first time it was printed?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'll look it up here in a second.
I'm just curious. Again, couldn't be more pleased with the turnout today.
Yes, we're
over 300 players.
Happy.
Yeah, a lot of people that came to just chill, and hang out too. Old friends I haven't seen in a while, and that's a nice thing about big events like this. You never know who you're gonna see.
Yeah, you get a lot of people that come from miles away, and you get to say hi.
Yeah. Maurice is getting very animated over here.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna see a Sphinx for 3 at the end here. Something about all our players that play on the right side like to have their lands on the top of the playmat and all the way to the left. And Justin, our first round match, he did that too. So I can't tell if that's. I think he's got 6 lands in play.
So Dan's going to start off with a Slaughter Games. We'll see what he names here in a second.
Yeah, what do you name? I mean, yes, there are a few win conditions, but
it depends on what he wants to do. If he wants to play Sire of Insanity, he might name Dissipate.
Yeah, I think you Sphinx in response here regardless. Yeah, he does have 6 lands. Oh, I think maybe what happened here is Maurice said, okay, what are you naming? Yeah,
as soon as you name.
As soon as you name, it's resolved.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he said Sphinx Revelation, and he was going to try and respond by casting Sphinx Revelation. That's not going to work.
Yeah, I'm bringing up the Oracle text on that just to make sure, but
yeah, that's going to be the ruling.
Yep.
That's unfortunate.
That is very unfortunate.
Yeah, because I mean, you use one of the Sphinxes, then the Slaughter Games loses a lot of its value. And obviously, missing the 3 life could be relevant too. And now he's going to get to see the whole library.
So Dan did name Slaughter Games.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I've actually seen this a lot of times. Back when, what was it, cranial extraction?
Cranial extraction.
Yeah. Yep. People would, play that card, and I'd see it, every tournament. It's like, okay, well, what do you name it? All right, I'll respond and cast the spell. And that's not how it works.
Yeah, cranial extraction was exactly the same thing. It was name a non-land card.
Yep.
And search that target player's library. So if you let the card resolve, that means you're allowing your opponent to name a card.
Yep. Yep, and Dan knew that too, so he took full advantage of that rule.
So that's going to put a big hamper on Maurice. Not being able to draw any cards at a large advantage is going to be huge.
Mm-hmm. And we're getting another judge call over here.
Players just making sure that everything's working out fine. Maurice looks like he's going to speak with the judge off camera here. I'm really liking Dan's position, even though he doesn't have a threat on the board. Maurice really doesn't got much going on.
That's the thing. He's out of Sphinx Revelations now, and we've seen his hand. He's got a Planeswalker, but he didn't play it.
Mm-hmm.
So, he does have the refuge, so he can flash something in.
Yeah, I don't think he has enough to play the Planeswalker. All right, so Dan takes his turn.
If it's small Jace, he does, because he's got
no,
7 land.
It's definitely big Jace.
Okay. Yeah, here comes some threats.
Dan's going to lead off with Hunt Master of the Fells. Dan's going to gain 2 life. Puts him back up to 20. Life totals are 20-20 at this point.
So we're going to activate and play a Witchbane Orb.
Yep.
I think he was hoping to get Rakdos returned or something like that and respond with a Witchbane Orb.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that might have been his judge call. Like saying, if he's already targeted me, can this counter that ability? And I think the answer is yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so now, yeah, we're going to take 2 so we can... Because he's got... Is that an Urban Evolution and a Jace there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he will be able to end step do that.
So Maurice is sitting at 18 life now.
Personally, I probably would have just cast Urban Evolution right there to stop the Huntmaster flip. And, you might be able to draw into a Fog. And if you're using your Alchemist Refuge, you're not going to have the land left over to use the Fog that you draw. And you don't get to play the extra land for the turn.
I do think there's some merit to end step Tameo here.
He doesn't have Tameo.
Oh, excuse me. End step Jace.
Jace.
Just to start drawing cards.
Yeah, well, I guess it does protect Jace, so he can't be attacked this turn. And that's probably what his line of play here is. He took 2 for the shock, and then he's going to take
another 6
because of this line of play. So I hope Jace is worth it here. And we're going to see 5 lands being tapped, probably a Garrick Garrick. And that's looking really, really good for Dan right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to seal it up.
I don't know, unless he plays Planner Cleansing, which we can see he does not. It's looking pretty grim here.
Yep, so we're gonna flash in Jace in the end step.
If you can runner, fog. Okay, Terminus is a good start.
Terminus off the top is definitely a good start.
And if you can just mill the rest of his deck, there is still a shot here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gonna want to draw with Jace. He's gotta get a card advantage going.
Yeah, mill you 2 or 1, sorry, and draw 1.
So it looks like he drew another Jace.
Yeah, I think you got to main phase this so you get full value out of your lands.
Oh yeah, be able to play an extra land here would be helpful.
Not only that, but yeah, if he draws like a fog effect or something, you want the land to be available to use it, and he will play the second land. So just like that, the turn of events here, and the board position completely changes over. And remember, if he draws any kind of bonfire or Rakdos return or anything like that, he can't use it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing if he had any kind of putrefy or anything like that, it's probably not there anymore.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Down to 3 cards for Dan. Looks like we might see another creature there. Yep, got Olivia.
It's starting to get a little tight now. We're about 6 minutes left in the round.
Okay, we are in game 3.
So Garrick's
gonna draw him some cards.
Draw 3. Exactly what Dan wants.
Yeah, if you can rip a Dreadbore here, that's pretty good. I mean, he doesn't know that Maurice has another Jace in his hand, but and there it is.
Yep, Dreadbore your Jace. And Witchbane has 3 counters on it.
Witchbane is huge. Okay, so we do have another big Jace in hand. Tamiyo comes down. Yeah, I think he needs to use every mana he has here. So we're not going to flash anything in. We're going to be tapping down Olivia. Yeah, the Garrick at this point isn't a huge deal. Do we have accurate life totals? Is he at 12?
Pretty sure he is at 12 life still.
Okay, he's tapping 6. That's not good. That's a Sire.
Sire Insanity. Let's see how well this Fog Dog does against Sire. Yep, Maurice already has his hand over there.
Yeah, ready to go.
Garrick makes a beast, and there goes the hands.
So again, another complete board change here. Garrick drawing 3, pretty huge there. In fact, probably the game winner. I don't know what Maurice drew, but I think he's facing down lethal.
Well, he's at 12 life right now. Tamiyo can tap down the Sire Insanity.
He's going to draw 1. I guess you hope to get a Supreme or...
Supreme or Fog.
Yeah, I don't think he realizes he's got to discard his hand. He didn't.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, there we go. His hand is discarded.
And unless we have life totals wrong. Okay.
Yep. This should be lethal.
That should be exactly 12. Ooh. Yeah, if he's at 12, then why don't you just win? Oh, he's going to ping both of them. That's 5 pings?
1, 2, 3, 4 pings. Yeah, 7 plus a 6 enough to lethal out, isn't it?
Why wouldn't you just kill him there? We must have life totals wrong.
Nope. He's going to go and scoop.
Yeah,
So congratulations to Dan Shaffer playing John,
pretty interesting match there. That's
beating Turbofog.
you think you know who's winning, and then
It just goes
it
back
just
and forth.
it's
It's
just back and
haymaker
forth.
after haymaker, and that's why Farseek is so important in this matchup. Whoever can start throwing the haymakers first probably generally has the advantage.
Yeah, I definitely I liked Dan's line of play there. I don't know why you even attacked Tamio, unless we must have had the life totals wrong there. But we will work on getting that up for you guys for next round, and that's when we will see you, and that will be round 6, I believe. So
See you in round 6.
see you in round 6.